Hey guys, I wanted to do a garden update because a lot of things have changed in the garden since my last update. This tomato, of course, is really coming along. Look how big the fruit has gotten just in the last couple of weeks. It's growing almost as fast as it grew on the outside. So outdoors or indoors with good lighting is pretty much the same. As you can see, I've got 4 tomatoes here. I've got another 6 in a cluster here. I got some fixing to bloom here. And on the other side, let's see, it looks like I got about 3, and then I have another cluster coming in. So this tomato is really taking off. My squash, which was heavily infected with silverleaf, let me show a leaf that is still infected. See how the veins are silvery? That's a disease that's carried by usually white flies, and even though I haven't seen white flies in here, I definitely have been infected. But I sprayed a solution of 1 teaspoon of baking soda and Dawn detergent, and put it with a wetting agent, and I sprayed it on these leaves, both to kill aphids, but also the baking soda will kill some plant diseases, and even well, as you can see, these leaves, you can see a little bit of reflection. That reflection is a light, it is not silver. These have no signs whatsoever of silver leaf, which is quite amazing. That these have a little bit, because these are a little bit older leaves. I got a little bit of leaf burn there before I put too much on it, but it's amazing. There's no sign of infection on this at all. So when I thought I was going to lose the plant, the baking soda seems to have stopped the fungus, and now it's of course beginning to start to fruit. We'll see how that goes. Here's my very slow growing stick tomato, but it has made a lot of progress. And if you look on this side, you can see it's just about to bloom. And in fact, it's going into bloom. I see the yellow beginning to come out. So that one is getting ready to produce. This is my super sauce tomato. It has just gone into bloom, and apparently it's ready to produce a lot of blooms. There's a cluster of about 6 blossoms here, and that one is about another 6. So it's beginning to really grow. I've harvested some of my lettuce, so it's a little bit sparse in here, but the lettuce has done real well. This squash, let me show you this. I don't know if I can really focus in on that, but this thing is just absolutely filled with aphids. So I finally just gave up and cut the leaves off, sprayed them with soapy solution to kill them, and I'm going to try to recover this plant. Cutting the leaves off really won't hurt it; it'll just produce more leaves. But it also has kind of a bizarre looking squash. I don't know how well it comes through, but it doesn't look proper, and I'm wondering if this isn't just a bad mutation from seed. But I'll let it grow and see what happens. It's not really producing anything. It has that 1 blossom or 1 fruit compared to this one, which is full of blossoms. I've had probably a half a dozen male blossoms, and it's got a lot of fruit in it. Some of the fruit died back, but that's not unusual. Let me give a tour over here. This is the dwarf, the stone dwarf tomato, sometimes called the Livingston stone dwarf. Very slow growing. It's getting lots of light. It looks the leaves look really, really healthy, but no signs of blossoms on this one yet. Now you may remember this tomato from last time. This stem extended all the way to the other side of the garden. It's the one that nearly survived my lights burning out. It was so unproductive, I finally just cut back that stem, and it has, in just a few short weeks, it has put out a pretty nice looking plant that's now getting blossoms. You can see there's a cluster of blossoms coming in there. So I expect that one to start producing pretty well. And of course my sundew is really enjoying the environment in here. if you've watched my other videos and been on my webpage, this will look familiar. As you can see, I've harvested a lot of lettuce. We've been eating on it pretty regularly for the last month or so, since right before Christmas. So a lot of it has been cut back. This is the Salanova that I planted. I think I planted the seeds on December the 16th. So these are just over a month old, and look how big and healthy they're getting. I figured in a couple weeks I can start cutting some of the outer leaves off for salads. So I have 4 different species. This is green butter crunch, red butter crunch, green oak leaf, and red oak leaf. As you can see, the oak leaves are definitely growing much faster than the butter crunch, but that's not surprising since the leaf texture is thicker on the butter crunch. And that's a leftover soil-grown red Sells lettuce that started about the same time I planted these. As you can see, it grows much slower in the soil. And there's my poor, almost dead pepper. The little brown spots you see are aphids. I don't know why, but I've had such a bad time with aphids this year. So I trimmed off all the leaves and sprayed it with soap. I don't think it's going to survive the shock though, and to be honest with you, I'm not really too broken-hearted about it because I'm tired of raising aphids. Probably put some lettuce or something in there. But we've been eating for a month on this lettuce, and once the Salanova starts coming in, we'll really have a good fresh crop coming in. I'll probably plant Salanova here as well once I harvest these again. I'll let it sprout and grow for a couple weeks and then move it into the hydroponics.